So let's break down what's really causing the flooding happening right now in Content, Manchester, and even other parts of Jamaica. I've been getting a lot of requests to do a video on this phenomenon, so what's really going on? The flooding you're seeing is the result of a massive rise in groundwater levels. Basically, the aquifer, which is that underground water storage system, is filling up so fast that the water has nowhere else to go except up to the surface. When this happens, we call it a groundwater mound. And groundwater mounds form when more water is entering the ground than the aquifer can naturally drain away. Think of it like pouring water into a sponge faster than it can drip out. Eventually, it starts spilling over. Now, the Water Resources Authority has a monitoring borehole about 250 meters southeast of the flooded zone in Content. Their readings show that between September 25th and November 3rd, 2025, the groundwater there rose by approximately 330 feet or about 100 meters. That is a rapid and huge increase, and exactly the kind of jump you'd expect when the aquifer is overwhelmed. This isn't the first time something like this has happened in Manchester. A very similar event occurred back in 2002 in Porus after intense flood rains. So while it's dramatic, it's not unprecedented. Now, let's talk about the geology behind all this. Jamaica has two main types of aquifers. There are limestone aquifers and alluvial aquifers. Limestone aquifers are the big ones, made from highly permeable karstified limestone with lots of joints, cracks, underground caves, and caverns. Alluvial aquifers, on the other hand, are made of sand and gravel, usually found along river channels and floodplains. There are coastal aquifers too, but let's keep this simple for now. Content and pretty much most of Manchester sits on top of limestone aquifer systems. And that's important here because limestone is full of underground pathways where water normally flows pretty easily. Just like how water flows on the surface, it also flows underground. That's your groundwater flow. But here's where Hurricane Melissa comes in. The storm dumped a massive amount of rain in a very short time. The aquifer started recharging or refilling much faster than normal. And because the underground system can only move water so fast, it basically got overwhelmed. When the water can't move horizontally quickly enough, it starts rising vertically instead, which is exactly what we're seeing. So with all that said, what happens next? Based on patterns we've seen before, like in 2002, the groundwater mound should gradually move southwest over the coming weeks. As it moves, water levels should slowly recede. But as for giving an exact date or time for full recession, that's not something I can say with confidence. There are too many variables, especially rainfall. So, in summary, the aquifer has received massive amounts of water from Hurricane Melissa, way more than it can move out efficiently. This caused the water table to rise all the way to the surface. And as long as the area doesn't get more heavy rain, groundwater will continue to flow out of the system and the mound should shrink. But the exact timeline for everything returning back to normal remains uncertain. So I hope that this helped explain the science behind what's happening in Content. If you found this helpful, share it so more people can understand what's really going on.